I don't know, but
that's gotta be
Islam,
July, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
that Islam Topuria.
I don't think that's happening.
No, Islam's going up to 70.
Is he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Joe Rogan dismisses the idea of Ilia Topuria facing Islam Makhachev, hinting at a different challenge for the rising star.
There's a lot of good fights coming up. I'm wondering what they're going to do with Topuria, but I like what you were saying. Topuria versus Oliveira.
During a recent episode of Joe Rogan's Fight Companion podcast, a discussion unfolded around a potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. Brendan Schaub, a regular guest on the show, threw the idea into the conversation, only for Rogan to quickly dismiss it. "I don't think that's happening," Rogan remarked. He then shifted the conversation to Topuria's future, suggesting a more exciting matchup for the rising star in the lightweight division. Rogan mentioned that he could see a compelling fight between Topuria and former champion Charles Oliveira, citing Oliveira's size, reach, and striking prowess.
What you were saying, Topuria versus Oliveira.
Your first introduction at 55. He's kind of the
Oliveira's
king
so
of 55
tall
and dangerous.
So dangerous everywhere. Dangerous striking, huge reach advantage.
Topuria, who is widely regarded as one of the most exciting fighters to come out of the featherweight division in recent years, has already made waves with his decision to move up to lightweight. Despite many doubting whether he can succeed at 155 pounds due to his size, Topuria himself claimed that the brutal weight cuts required to fight at featherweight were taking a toll on him. Now, with his sights set on the bigger, more dangerous lightweight division, he has been vocal about his intentions, even challenging the UFC to grant him a title shot against Makhachev. However, the UFC, especially the team around Makhachev, seems less inclined to throw him straight into the title picture. Instead, it appears that Topuria might have to wait until he faces someone else in the lightweight division first.
Yeah. But if you're Topuria, you're not going to go up to 55 without some sort of guarantee, because remember, he's giving up the belt, so he's not getting pay-per-view points.
But it's his idea.
Well, because the weight cut's too tough.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Really?
45 is too tough for him.
But he's been doing it and winning.
He's just sick of it.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Apparently that last cut was really tough, and his team was like, all right, no more.
Wow.
But
so what is he weighing?
You're not going to give up the pay-per-view points and just dip out and then just go into the queue at 55.
What was he weighing when he was fighting 45? What was he walking around
They were
at,
saying like 180 between 170.
Really?
Yeah, big. Like that's the thing. Everyone was like, oh, he's too small, 55. I'm like, he's big out of camp.
Yeah, but those guys are real big. Like, Islam's huge.
This delay in Topuria's title shot may be a result of his inactivity, as a video of him walking through the O2 arena ahead of UFC London recently surfaced, drawing attention for his seemingly fuller physique. While some fans chalked it up to the jacket he was wearing, others were quick to suggest that Topuria had gained weight, possibly in preparation for his transition to lightweight. His weight was already a topic of discussion, with some fans comparing his appearance to that of fellow UFC fighter Paddy Pimblett, known for his dramatic weight fluctuations outside of fight camps.
Here I go to see again. The sunshine fills my hair and dreams ain't me.
Despite some lighthearted jabs on social media, many fans were intrigued by Topuria's approach to weight cutting, especially since he has openly discussed his unconventional method of drinking wine during his weight cutting process. According to Topuria, drinking half a liter of wine helps him to relax, feel buzzed, and get through the tough moments of the weight cut, especially the night before weigh-ins. While this may sound unusual to many, it has worked for him, and now, as he shifts to lightweight, the challenges of cutting weight might be lessened.
You're the only guy I've ever seen that drinks like right before weigh-ins, right? Like you on the ESPN episode, you were pretty drunk on the red wine. What started that?
It's tough to sleep before the weigh-ins, you know, because you're cutting weight. But when you drink wine, you don't give a fuck about anything because you get really drunk. So.
Meanwhile, fans are eagerly speculating about the potential fight between Topuria and Makhachev. The matchup has garnered attention not only because of Topuria's move to lightweight, but also due to his brash confidence in calling himself the father of the entire division, a claim he recently made in response to Charles Oliveira. Topuria's remark came after Oliveira stated that while he respected Topuria, he didn't see him as a serious threat in the division. Oliveira pointed to his own own power and jiu-jitsu as the key to defeating Topuria. This response did little to deter Topuria, who quickly retorted that Oliveira had a long list of losses and failed to stand out in the lightweight division. Topuria said, "Charles, it's better if you stay quiet. You have 10 losses, 5 by knockout, 4 by submission, and 1 by decision." In a larger context, Topuria's transition from featherweight to lightweight has stirred some controversy within the division. Fighters like Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, and others have expressed doubts about how well Topuria will perform at the higher weight class. Oliveira, for example, remains fixated on regaining the lightweight title and has made it clear that Topuria is not yet on his radar as a top contender. Instead, Oliveira seems more focused on fighting for the title once again, particularly against Islam Makhachev, with whom he has unfinished business following their planned bout at UFC 280 that ultimately fell through.
Foi uma grande luta, né? Ele é o campeão, tinha que fazer isso mesmo. Mas eu sou o próximo, ele sabe disso. O campeão dos pesos leves chama Charles Oliveira, eu tô pronto pra isso.
While some view Topuria's rapid rise as a challenge to the current hierarchy of the lightweight division, others believe the fighter has not yet proven himself against top competition at 155 pounds. In fact, some of Makhachev's team have stated that Topuria must first prove himself against other legitimate lightweight contenders before being considered for a title fight. Fighters like Arman Tsarukyan, who has been calling for a title shot for some time, believe that the #1 contender spot should be earned by beating others in the division and not handed out based on a fighter's reputation or past achievements in another weight class.
Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion of the world, one of the greatest fighters of all time, and the #1 fighter in the world. Rumors are coming out that he said no to a fight with Ilia Topuria. They feel he needs to do something first. What do you make of that when you first hear it? Like, he doesn't want to fight Topuria just yet, at least.
My first sense is that's fake news. And it's a real insult to to Islam. I don't believe that Islam's scared to fight anybody. I think the evidence of that fact would be the fact that he switched opponents, took on Money Moicano with no training camp, no preparation, just because it's the right thing to do.
With that said, the UFC lightweight division is in a state of uncertainty now. Former champion like Kamaru Usman sees several compelling fights that could determine Makhachev's next opponent. He believes Justin Gaethje should be next in line for a title shot, given his exciting style and impressive track record. Additionally, he suggests that Dustin Poirier, who may be nearing the end of his career, should have one last big fight against Max Holloway. Despite Poirier having 2 wins over Holloway already, a trilogy fight between the two would still generate massive interest, especially if the BMF title is on the line. Usman also proposed a rematch between Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan, as their previous fight was highly competitive and could set up a future title challenger.
Obviously, Ilia has been teasing there's going to be an announcement, you know, a fight's going to happen. And also, there's been a little back and forth between the highlight Justin Gaethje and Arman Tsarukyan.
Another matchup Usman put forward was Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett, with the winner potentially facing Dan Hooker. This would create an opportunity for one of these fighters to solidify their standing within the division. Additionally, he believes Ilia Topuria, who recently moved up from featherweight, should be tested against Mateusz Gamrot. The Polish fighter's wrestling-heavy approach would provide a unique challenge for Topuria, who has yet to be tested extensively on the ground against high-level grapplers.
And then I would do Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira, and then I would probably do winner of Chandler versus Pimblett against Dan Hooker.
Usman further said, and Ilia Topuria gets Mateusz Gamrot. The one thing that we don't see often is Ilia Topuria on his back. Now give him a relentless wrestler who is very successful in the lightweight division. Henry Cejudo also sees the Oliveira versus Tsarukyan fight as a necessary rematch, particularly after Tsarukyan's recent struggles with fight cancellations. In his view, a clear top contender needs to emerge before making any rushed decisions about the title picture. He also pointed out that Pimblett, if he continues winning in dominant fashion, could unexpectedly find himself in the title conversation.
So I feel like Islam is going to fight Justin Gaethje sometime in June, July, which I could see an International Fight Week. I do see Ilia Topuria fighting Dustin
Michael Bisping took a simpler stance on the matter. He believes that Topuria should get the next title shot outright. According to Bisping, Topuria's rapid rise, combined with his decision to vacate the featherweight belt in pursuit of lightweight gold, makes him a deserving challenger. While some may argue that Topuria has not yet earned a lightweight title shot with only one fight in the division, Bisping feels that his overall skill set and achievements justify the opportunity.
I think Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria, because any of those guys, Arman, Charles, Justin, sure, they'd all be phenomenal fights, and they'd all have a realistic chance of potentially beating Ilia Topuria. Granted, Ilia is special. I'm not saying that he's not. But if he lost to them, there's a massive market opportunity lost there, because Ilia versus Islam, Ilia with the rise, Ilia still being in a lot of people's minds the featherweight champion against the lightweight champion, there's something there. And yeah, if he loses to Gage, but then 2-3 fights later gets a shot, it's not quite the same sell. The public wouldn't be quite as still invested. So I think they're going to give him the title fight. I think Islam's going to take it.
Matt Brown believes that Islam Makhachev should not face another former featherweight, arguing that the lightweight champion has already defended his belt twice against Alexander Volkanovski. In Brown's view, Makhachev should prioritize matchups against established lightweights rather than immediately granting title opportunities to fighters moving up in weight. While he acknowledges Topuria's impressive resume, he suggests that a victory over a notable lightweight contender would solidify his case for a title shot. He stated, "He has earned the right to fight for a title in basically every division. What Ilia has done, I think he has earned the right to fight for a title in basically every division, but I agree that let him fight one day before and earn the fight with Islam." Makhachev's teammate Bilal Muhammad sees the situation from another angle. He believes that many fans are eager to see Makhachev lose simply because of his dominance in the sport. Regarding Topuria's potential title shot, Muhammad argues that defeating a top-ranked lightweight such as Charles Oliveira or Dustin Poirier would erase any doubts about his legitimacy as a challenger. Till then, he feels Topuria has more to prove in the division before being considered for a fight against the champion.
What are your thoughts on Ilia coming up and how lightweight looks with Islam kind of teasing or maybe moving up at some point?
Everybody's calling for Ilia. Then you look at the comments and all of them are like, well, he's only fought in featherweights. And then he goes out there and he beats Ilia. And
he's also scared of Ilia, according to those same people.
Exactly, right? And then he's going to go out there and he's like, oh, well, we told you that Ilia was too small. And Ilia could always go back down and say, oh, well, yeah, you know, it wasn't good enough for me. But for Islam, for him to keep building his legacy, people are going to, they want to just see them lose, right? They want to see that team lose. And then you saw it with like Umar. It was such a good fight, such a close fight, but everybody's acting like he got killed because they just want to see that team lose. People hate greatness. People hate success, and they'd rather see you fail. But for Islam, they don't really care about that. They don't hear that noise. I think if Ilia goes out there and he fights like a Charles or even a DDP and he gets a win, there's no denying it, right? You have to get the title shot.
Robert Whitaker has high praise for Topuria's skills, noting that despite the hype surrounding him, many still underestimate his technical abilities. He points to Topuria's striking, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu as proof that he is a well-rounded fighter capable of competing with the best. In particular, Whitaker sees Topuria's Georgian wrestling background as a compelling factor that could present unique challenges to Makhachev's dominant Dagestani grappling style. He stated, "He is but Ilia. I feel like Ilia. Like, people know he is good, but I don't think they know how good he is. You know what I mean? I feel like these people still don't realize, technically, he is so far above the game in terms of jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and pocket fighting, cause I think that's a fight that will put him on the map. Like a proper, he will take everything that Islam has. He is already on the map." Alexander Volkanovski believes that simply relying on knockout power is not enough to dethrone the lightweight champion. He emphasizes that Makhachev's well-rounded skill set and fight intelligence make him a difficult opponent for anyone, including Topuria. If Topuria is to be considered a serious threat, Volkanovski suggests he must demonstrate more than just striking ability and prove he can match Makhachev in all areas of the fight.
The thing is with Ilia, he's a dangerous fighter and he can catch anyone. You know, if he goes there and he's stoic and he's, even if the fight's not going his way, he will not eventually get it, but he's going to keep trying to find it. Them later rounds are going to get harder for him, but if he was to land, he could definitely knock him out. I think that's going to be hard to do. I think Islam's a pretty safe fighter. I think the scrambling stuff, even if Ilia's takedown defense is solid, I still think them exchanges are going to be better off for Islam. But you can't count Ilia's power out. out, them hands. He's going to be, looking for that shot. Them early rounds, he's going to be very dangerous. So, to say he's got no chance is silly, because, you know what I mean? And then that's how I've always, for myself as well, that's how I've always seen myself only getting beaten by someone catching me. I don't feel like anyone can actually beat me, but everyone has a chance of catching me. And I still believe that's the case now. But I mean, you've got some that are, better chances than others, and Ilia has the better chance than most.
Dominic Cruz views the potential matchup through a different lens, focusing on the importance of strategy. He believes Topuria's best path to victory lies in controlling the range and keeping Makhachev on the defensive. If Topuria can maintain distance, defend takedowns, and capitalize on striking opportunities, Cruz sees a realistic chance for him to pull off an upset. He emphasizes the significance of keeping Makhachev moving backward, as it could shift momentum in Topuria's favor. He stated he has the tools. It's keep it on the feet, dictate the range, and keep Makhachev on his heels. If you keep Makhachev moving back with good striking defense and he's able to stuff a couple of the takedowns, I think he can get the momentum going in his favor and give himself a really good chance. Aljamain Sterling provides a more analytical breakdown of the potential fight, acknowledging Makhachev's superiority in wrestling and submissions, while also recognizing Topuria's speed, striking, and ability to use calf kicks effectively. Sterling sees the fight as highly competitive, given both fighters' ability to adapt and make strategic adjustments during a bout. While he does not make a definitive prediction, he believes the matchup would be an exciting contest between two elite competitors.
And I can't wait, to be honest. I always wanted to fight with Max, always share the octagon with him, and here we are, October 26.
You had an opportunity to do this this face-to-face with him around a week or so ago. How did you feel about that in the aftermath? Like, did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? Like being there with your opponent and speaking to him, what did you think of it?
To be honest, I feel him a little bit distracted, scared. I don't know. He doesn't seem to be like the same way with me.
Benail Dariush offers his support for Topuria's move to lightweight, arguing that the featherweight champion's decision to vacate his title in pursuit of greater challenges at 155 pounds is justified. Dariush points out that Topuria's undefeated streak and recent dominance make him a legitimate contender for a title shot. He also notes that with the UFC seemingly unwilling to grant Arman Tsarukyan a championship opportunity, Topuria stands out as one of the most credible options to challenge Makhachev. He said, "You can't really disagree with it, because he became champion, he defended his belt, and he's just like, hey, I'm too big, I don't want to make this weight cut anymore, so I want to fight 55. I wouldn't be against him fighting for 155, especially since the UFC said they're not going to allow Arman Tsarukyan to have his fight for the title. So, if Arman's not getting the title shot, Charles Oliveira, I understand he's supposed to be the #1 contender, but I would say Ilia's credentials are better at this moment. He's riding quite the win streak, so I definitely wouldn't be like, oh, this is a mistake. They shouldn't have this fight. With so many moving pieces in the lightweight division, the UFC faces a difficult decision in determining Makhachev's next challenger. While some believe that Topuria should be given the opportunity immediately, others argue that he must first prove himself against a top lightweight. Gaethje, Tsarukyan, and Oliveira all remain in contention, making the title picture one of the most competitive in the organization. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.